Hey teachers, Lindsay Bowden here, and I want to talk about test corrections today. Now, test corrections were a hot button topic in my school, so I want to tell you why I think you should be offering them and how I incorporated them into my room. So when I was a second or third year teacher, I noticed that when I gave tests back to students, they would throw them in the trash. They wouldn't even look at them. It blew my mind. I'm like, how are you ever going to learn from your mistakes if you don't look at them? And it was especially those students that bombed the test, rip it up, throw it away. And I get that they were embarrassed. They didn't want other people to see their mistakes, but I knew that I had to offer some type of incentive for students to go back and look at their mistakes and correct their mistakes. So that's why I started offering test corrections. And I got a little grief from coworkers. They would say things like, you don't get second chances in the real world, or they're in high school, they have to grow up sometime. I get where they're coming from, but these kids are still kids. They're 15 to 17 years old. They need a chance to learn from their mistakes. And even in the real world, when we make mistakes, usually we have a chance to learn from them. If I'm late to work one time, my principal isn't just going to fire me on the spot. And if your principal would do that, you may want to find a new school. But usually he'll call me in his office, talk to me about it, let me learn from my mistakes. So that's why I offer test corrections, and here is how I did it. So after every test, I would allow students to do test corrections. It was optional, it was not mandatory, but I would give them this form if they would like to complete it. And students would put the question number, what they got, so it was multiple choice, so let's say I got A. They would put the correct answer, C, and then the explanation for why C was the correct answer. So every test I gave them this. And I did something a little crazy. I gave students the correct answer. So first of all, make sure all your students have taken the test first. I've done that mistake one time. So every student's taking the test, I give students the correct answers. That way, they're not just going to say, okay, I got A, the correct answer is C, I'm done. The answer is not the purpose of this. The purpose is why, the how, why that's the right answer. So work, written out in words, why that's the right answer. And that helped a ton. The next thing that I did was I offered incentive for students to complete the test corrections. So let's say they did 5 test corrections, they would get a certain percentage back on their test. So it improved their grade. So they're not just learning from their mistakes, but they have a chance to boost their grade a little bit. The last thing that I did was I offered help for test corrections. So if a student bombed the test, they probably don't know why C is the right answer because they didn't get it right in the first place. So I would offer either office hours or before school, during lunch, after school. I would let them come in and work on test corrections. Sometimes if a lot of kids in the class missed it, then I would do test corrections during class. I would set aside maybe 30 minutes. We were on block schedule. So 30 minutes out of the 90 to do test corrections. And when I started using test corrections, guys, I saw a huge increase in student learning. So I really hope you start using test corrections in your class. Let me know if you do. And if you want to get this test corrections form for free, all you got to do is go to lindsaybowden.com/test corrections.